What's up, everybody? I'm Walter Bernasiak, and this is Top 5 here. We count down the best and worst performances of our most beloved actors. Today, we take a look at the best of the 26-year-old phenomenon, Jennifer Lawrence. Wait, 26? I'm older than her? Oh, man. This top 5 is the result of a Twitter poll I put up asking who should be the first actress covered on Top 5. More polls will be going up on there soon, so if you want your voice heard, make sure to follow me on Twitter at @awesome_Walter. Jennifer Lawrence has accomplished a lot for her age. She's already an Oscar winner and has been nominated 3 other times. While she doesn't yet have as much work as other subjects I've covered on this show, most of the stuff that she has done has either been critically acclaimed, a box office success, or both. I'm sure it'll just get better from here, but at this point in her young career, these are her top 5 best performances. Number 5, Tiffany Maxwell in Silver Linings Playbook. Jennifer Lawrence can be really good at playing erratic, unpredictable characters. This is the role that won her Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress, and it's not difficult to see why. Based on the 2008 Matthew Quick novel, after spending time in a mental institution, former teacher Pat Solitano moves back in with his parents. His obsession with getting back together with his ex-wife consumes him, and to make things more complicated, his friend's sister-in-law Tiffany promises to help Pat if he agrees to join her as a dance partner in an upcoming competition. A thing I've noticed with Lawrence for a while now is that she plays characters that seem significantly older than her. Most of the time she pulls it off. While Tiffany's age isn't mentioned in the film that I recall, she acts like a woman more in her 30s than somebody in her early 20s. It's convincing in this role as she also layers being a widow with her own set of mental issues to match Pat's on top of it. She can be very funny in this movie with some good comedic timing, and when she snaps or has to get emotional, she shines pretty well.
You're a hypocrite, you're a conformist, you're a liar. I opened up to you and you judged me. You're an asshole. You're an asshole. Get off me! Get off! You're harassing me! He's harassing me!
It's well established that Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence have some solid chemistry, and the duo, along with Robert De Niro and director David O. Russell, have teamed together on several more projects. Also, shout out to Chris Tucker for gracing the silver screen again. We miss you, Chris. Number 4. Agnes in The Poker House. This is a little-known movie that Lawrence did back in 2008. She was in her late teens, and it showcases just how talented she was even at that age. The movie itself isn't very good, but Lawrence turns in a very strong performance. Agnes is the oldest of 3 sisters who constantly struggle from day to day in a home that has been taken over by pimps and gamblers, while her mother has succumbed to prostitution after the violent divorce from her abusive husband. This is based on the childhood of actress Lori Petty. You may remember her from A League of Their Own, Tank Girl, Free Willy, and Orange is the New Black. This was her directorial debut, and it's obviously an extremely personal film. Lawrence plays the dramatized version of Petty as a teenager, and she is very believable in this role. It's different seeing her so young. She's very charismatic and likable here, especially when she's interacting with her sisters.
Stop. I'm sorry, I love you, bye. I love you too.
She gets to show off her range in a few dramatic scenes that cap off a great turn from the up-and-comer at this point.
He beats you, and he sells you, and now he wants to sell me too. And you want to die in his place? Yes.
The movie's problems stem from a wildly inconsistent tone that goes from very cutesy to shocking without much of a warning. The Poker House gets very uncomfortable, and it's not for everyone. However, Lawrence really showed off what a talent she was as her star was on the rise. Number 3, Joy Mangano in Joy. This just came out last year and was the latest team-up Lawrence did with director David O. Russell. It didn't get a lot of commercial attention, but Lawrence was once again nominated for an Oscar for her performance as real-life entrepreneur Joy Mangano. Joy is constantly taken advantage of by her family. She's a pushover who gave up on her dreams many years ago. However, Joy's grandmother still believes in her and encourages her as she creates the world's first self-wringing mop. As the product becomes popular, Joy has to deal with an unforgiving business world while balancing it with her family problems. This role stands out from the pack for Lawrence as we see her react to new situations with a very different demeanor. She's a mom who lets her family walk all over her. The sympathy factor plays a big role in having us root for Joy throughout the movie. It's an understated performance that blooms into something special as the film progresses. You are really on her side as this underdog scores victories and racks up losses while selling her product. Another big element that leads to some great scenes is the relationship that Joy has with her father and half-sister.
Maybe my product is better than your product.
Never speak on my behalf about my business again.
We see Joy change as she rides a roller coaster ride that dips her into some low lows and eventually transforms her for the better. Not the best David O. Russell movie, but I think it's a really nice story that a lot of people can connect with. Lawrence as Joy is a joy. Sorry. Number 2, Katniss Everdeen in The Hunger Games: Catching Fire. Based on the second Suzanne Collins novel in the Hunger Games series, Catching Fire explores the ramifications of the unprecedented win that Katniss Everdeen and Peeta Mellark pulled off in the first movie. Now they are forced on a victor's tour, ending with an announcement about the 75th annual Hunger Games and third quarter quell that changes things in an unexpected and cruel way. Instantly, we see that Katniss is a deeper character than in the first film, and she goes through even more in Catching Fire. It's her best performance as Katniss in the best Hunger Games movie. Her relationships are explored in more meaningful ways, and Lawrence really ups the ante in those emotional scenes, as well as in the action sequences in the quarter quell. When those action scenes intersect with the emotional ones, we see some great stuff from Lawrence. I think the most interesting aspect to Katniss this time around is how she deals with people starting to look at her as a leader and symbol of resistance to President Snow and the Capitol. She sees all this happening, but can't go too far with acknowledging it since Snow has threatened her family.
And I couldn't save her. I'm sorry.
Her badass side is of course always present, and I think my favorite example of this is when she sends a message to the new game maker, Plutarch. When Katniss is brought out of the games and sees Hinnick, Plutarch, and Haymitch in the ship, her reaction is a release of frustration that holds a ton of weight, and Lawrence portrays this rage perfectly.
They got him and Joanna.
You son of a bitch! You son of a... You promised me that you would save him over me! You promised me! You're a liar! You're a liar!
The ending is a great tease and got just about everyone really excited for the finale, which would be split into 2 movies. This is what Lawrence is best known for, and she doesn't disappoint as Katniss, specifically in this movie. Jennifer Lawrence hasn't been around for all that long, but she still has more than just 5 very good performances. So, before we get to number 1, let's take a look at some honorable mentions. And the number 1 best Jennifer Lawrence performance is Ree Dolly in Winter's Bone. This was the performance that really made a lot of people take notice of the young actress. It was her first Oscar nomination, and in my opinion, this is positively her best performance. 17-year-old Ree Dolly is the de facto head of her household after her father goes missing. Having to take care of her 2 younger siblings and unresponsive mother, things only get worse when she's informed by the sheriff that Ree's father put the family's house up for bond. She is then forced to go on a dangerous journey to find out what happened to her father, all with the fate of her family hanging in the balance. This is based on the 2006 novel by Daniel Woodrell. We've seen Lawrence in similar types of roles both before and after this movie, but she 100% carries this film, and she hits a bullseye with every scene she's in. She's believable, bold, and a bit stoic, but in a good way. This character presents herself as if she has no fear, but we see as the movie goes along that she's even more admirable because of how she overcomes her fear to take care of her family.
Now, you know I got the legal right to go in there hunting the man any place I want.
I know you'd be wasting your time and pissing me off.
What are we ever gonna do with you, baby girl?
Kill me, I guess.
I love her relationship with her Uncle Teardrop, played by John Hawkes. There's a lot of history with Rhee's dad, and their scenes together are great.
You should have this.
Oh, why'd you keep it here for me?
Also, her relationship with her siblings is even more enjoyable than in The Poker House. She really is the surrogate mom for these kids, and Lawrence plays that role well.
Now, the most important thing is do not put your finger on the trigger unless you're ready to shoot and you're aimed at your target. And don't ever, both of you look at me, never point this at each other, not ever. All right?
If you're not a fan of her and haven't seen Winter's Bone, I'd suggest changing that. It might just alter your opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. What is your favorite Jennifer Lawrence movie and or performance? Who do you want me to cover next in the show? Leave a comment and let me know. Follow me on Twitter at awesome_Walter to take part in more polls about who may be covered in the future. Come back next week when we take a look at the top 5 worst Jennifer Lawrence performances. Farewell.